Hey guys, so I'm just here to tell you guys about the different symptoms I had before and after surgery. It just dawned on me too that I never posted a picture or shared a picture of my incision right after the craniectomy. So at the end of the video, I will put that picture in there. Hey guys, so it is about 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Sorry, it's like 2 months post craniectomy, and it's actually exactly 2 months post craniectomy. But I just thought that it might be interesting or helpful to make a quick video about what my symptoms were before the craniectomy and as opposed to what my symptoms are now currently 2 months out. So before it all began, the red flag that let me know something was seriously wrong with my body before I knew I had any conditions at all was the persistent severe lower back pain. That was definitely the I gotta figure this out thing. That was constant, and at times it was completely debilitating. On good days when, you know, people see me smiling, my hair's done, I'm actually got dressed and I just looked like a regular person. Those good days, my pain was probably at like a 3 or 5. I had to learn to function through intense pain. That was actually a relief compared to where my pain could get to and was a lot of the time. So when I was having pains where it was like a 3 to 5 on the 1 through 10 pain scale, that was what I would consider a good day, and I would, you know, try to get things done and, you know, work through the pain. Doing almost anything would make my pain a lot worse. So that would end up increasing that pain scale dramatically. But anyways, several months and doctor's appointments, x-rays, blood work, you know, all those things later, they had finally decided to do my first MRI. At that point, those were all the symptoms that I was having. I took some notes because I can't really think straight sometimes, and I wanted to make sense. They did the lumbar MRI, which ended up showing just the tail end of my syrinx. And about 3 months later, after that was found on my MRI, I started having a lot more symptoms, seemingly like all at once. And now keep in mind, at this point in time, I had no idea that I had a Chiari malformation. I just knew that I had Syringomyelia, because that neurosurgeon at the time refused to order the imaging that the radiologist recommended of the full brain and spine. I literally had to fight with him in order to have the cervical spine added to the thoracic spine MRI, and it was a huge headache. I did explain part of that situation in a previous video, but either way, I didn't know I had Chiari. And so I started having tingling and, you know, in my arms and legs, and pain in the back of my head and neck and my upper back, and burning sensations like in my shoulders, numbness and tingling in my cheeks and tingling in my lips, eyes, the back of my throat, increased dizziness and lightheadedness. I couldn't push a grocery cart anymore. I couldn't carry groceries, provide childcare anymore, or be like upright for more than a couple hours, like 2 tops. Couldn't do it. So at that point, I called and let the second neurosurgeon's office know, a local neurosurgeon's office know that this was all going on. like they had told me to do. And, you know, if symptoms increased or new symptoms showed up, to call and let them know. And they literally couldn't have cared less. The receptionist there literally told me, well, that's just to be expected with Syringomyelia, you know, even though they told me to call and let them know. So I wasn't satisfied with that standard of care, and so I started looking for experts to send my stuff to try to get good, knowledgeable help, because again, you know, like I just knew something was very seriously wrong, and I knew I needed help. So I got my imagings to the experts, and they quickly noticed the seriousness of my images, and they were ready to make me an appointment to have the craniectomy within 3 weeks of the surgeon viewing my images and me meeting with him. So just 3 weeks later, after my first meet with him and him looking at them, he was like, yeah, we get this done. And I was, first of all, you know, I almost wanted to cry because I knew something was wrong, and I felt like nobody else wanted to help me, but I knew that so there was something seriously wrong, and they just immediately saw like, yeah, you know, like that's, you know, your brainstem's being compressed too, and you know, the in addition to the, you know, cerebellar compression, it's also pressing on the brainstem, which was causing the symptoms in like my face, the tingling in the eyes and lips, and you know, back of the throat, cheek numbness, stuff like that. So anyways, that meant a lot to me, that they are able to make accommodations when they see that somebody has something seriously going wrong. The experts can get you in fast to help you because they recognize when something is urgent, whereas opposed to local neurosurgeons who don't have experience with these conditions don't often, in my experience, recognize when something is really serious and needs to be urgently taken care of. They just don't have the experience to back that up, which is crazy and so sad, but it's so true. It's really, really true. But anyways, I was at the point where I could not have lived like that, and I truly believe we're all very much longer without that intervention. So I'm fresh in the healing process, you know, just 2 months out, 8 weeks later, but I'm already experiencing so many improvements. The most surprising for me was the very first one that I noticed, and that was my lower back pain was gone, which is crazy to me because nobody insinuated that they thought that that had anything to do with, you know, my Syringomyelia or the fact that I have Chiari, which the experts diagnosed me with, as opposed to the other people didn't even care to look for it, and then when they did see imagings didn't even mention it, you know. But anyways, my lower back pain was completely gone for the first 4 weeks after surgery. Nothing. Now, I told you before, my lower back pain on good days was like a 3 to 5, and I could work through the pain. I learned to deal with it. Nothing. No lower back pain. None. It was amazing. Now, after the 4-week point, I started being able to do a little bit more, and as I was doing more around the house, I did eventually start to feel some lower back pain again, but it was nowhere near where it was before. Like, it's not anything like it was before. I have moments of my day, even now, 2 months out from my craniectomy, where I still have no pain, no lower back pain. If I do too much, if I'm trying to do too much laundry or stand and do my dishes too long or make too big of a meal, or, you know, do too much, like trying to vacuum or something like that, then yeah, I might have some lower back pain, but nothing like what it was before. Um, but yeah, so that was the very most surprising. And then, you know, I do have like pain in the back of my head and neck, which is to be expected, and my shoulders and everything, because I did just have a craniectomy. They, you know, cut through the muscles to get to your skull, and, you know, all the nerves and everything that's in there. It's still sore. If I stay taking the muscle relaxers, it's more bearable. Sometimes I like to have, you know, want to have a glass of wine with my husband, you know, maybe like starting a week or two ago. And so I didn't take the muscle relaxers for a day so that I could enjoy a glass of wine with my husband. And I could really only not take the muscle relaxer for maybe like 2 days, because it's slowly, that muscle pain will slowly creep back up on you and get pretty stiff and tight in your neck, shoulders, and upper back, and that's pretty painful. But again, nowhere near how much pain I was experiencing before surgery, not even close. And it's getting better and better as I heal from surgery. So, you know, I'm only 8 weeks post craniectomy. So, I mean, it's a long healing process. It can take up to a year to be fully healed. But I would say, being 8 weeks out, that it's amazing results. I feel so good compared to how I felt before. Now, what else? I don't want to forget anything. I do have upper back pain still sometimes, like if I'm doing laundry for too long or doing something like that, which is to be expected. You know, I had just had the surgery, and I have Chiari malformation. I have, you know, Syringomyelia. That's to be expected with healing from the surgery, but it is not anywhere near how it was before. I do still have numbness in my cheeks on occasion, and closer to the surgery, not so much now anymore, but closer to right after the craniectomy, I did still have some tingling behind my eyes. And that concerned me a little bit. I asked the neurosurgeon's office, the experts, about that, and they said because of, you know, needing to go into the dura a little bit, there causes inflammation. And so I guess I was having those symptoms before and everything's inflamed in there, that wasn't concerning or surprising, that it should get gradually better, and it has. So I'm grateful for that. I don't feel that hardly very much at all now, 8 weeks out, as I was feeling it more often, a lot closer to right after the craniectomy. Everybody's different. Not everybody needs to have, you know, craniectomy or surgery, but there are times when, you know, some of us absolutely have to have it. And I just think that if you are someone who does necessarily, that it is necessary that you have to have it, for all of us, even if you don't have to have it, don't trust a non-expert to tell you you don't have to have it if you are dealing with symptoms that you cannot live with. Like if you're, you know, if you're dealing with symptoms like that, don't ever trust a non-Chiari expert neurosurgeon to tell you that everything's fine, you don't need help. Please, you know, you can send your images to an expert to have them review them. That way, you have experienced eyes looking at your imaging, and you will be able to feel comfortable with whatever decision is made, because you'll know that nothing was missed, because things get missed so much by neurosurgeons who don't have the experience to really be giving the type of guidance that they try to give people with these things. And they really should just be saying, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't have the experience with this. Let me refer you out to someone who specializes in these conditions. But for some reason they don't. in my experience, they don't do that. They just try to handle it, but they don't always handle it well or right. So please, if you can, try to get your images to an expert. I know that not everybody has the means to travel, but there's so many different experts spread out across the country. And sometimes you can just send them and they can look at them without you needing to go and see them in person, and they can give you their advice and send it back to you wherever you are, so you don't have to physically go to them to have them look at it. And there may be ways that they can work with people with different insurances or even without insurance that have these conditions and need help. Please reach out to them and ask them, you know, what options they have available for people in all different circumstances. Don't just think that there's no hope or no help, because you'd be amazed at you know, the different programs or things that they can do to help people in all circumstances. So please just reach out and see what's available for you. And I really pray the best for everyone else dealing with the same things as me, because it's so hard. It's mentally stressful, exhausting, emotionally exhausting, and physically exhausting. So, you know, we're here for each other, right? We're not alone. So, this is a much longer video than I intended for it to be. Maybe I'll be able to cut some stuff of me just blabbering out and make it a little shorter. But anyways, I wish you all the best.